All right. For segment 1 today, we've got 3 big topics to cover, and we're already over a half hour into the stream. So this is going to be fun. Let's see how well we can cover these. We're going to start with skills and talents right now, then we're going to go into the game mechanics, and then we're going to end with momentum, doom, and is it chronicle points? I think they're called. So that is going to be the entirety of the segment 1 today. But we're going to start now with skills and talents. Before we do that, we have to tell you that we believe that role-playing games should take place in fantastic worlds, and that the focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time, as was done on the Friday Chill stream. You can look it up. It's episode 2 of Legion of Myth Let's Play. We had a great time. Check it out. You don't want to miss it, and you will see hashtag RPGate in play there. Why? Because we were just playing a game, and we were all having fun. Because the core values of hashtag RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural organic inclusion, not forced diversity. Dun, dun, dun. Or, in that game, forced non-diversity? Anyway, the charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Please refer to the description below or the link on the screen there to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. And finally, join us Thursday and Saturday evenings on twitch.tv/legionofmyth if he's not dying to watch Ethan Dog and his team of dirty casuals play multiplayer games for your mockery and enjoyment. And here on our YouTube channel, you can watch these game-related segments live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Are we going to be saying that after November? Because isn't the entire country going away from daylight savings time?
I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, 1 p.m. Central, or the Friday Night Chill stream, where a panel of guests opine, comment, and editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. And this, believe me, when I do not show this slide, people complain. So here it is. You can read it. We're not giving you the step-by-steps. That's a whole different type of video. We are talking about what we read in the book about this game. Subscribe for Max's ability to read, because sometimes he fails.
That doesn't happen.
All right. We slide that over there, put this over here. And of course, I lose things in the mix. Where's my stream? There it is. Get off the screen. I don't need you on the screen anymore. Where'd you go? Oh, you got it. Never mind.
I got it.
All right. Present. Share screen. I was thinking we might have time to get into, what do you call those things? Comments today, but I'm guessing that might not happen. Got a lot of things to talk about. All right, here we are with Robert E. Howard's Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of. And we're going to start by talking about skills and talents. Now, for the folks who watched the Mutant Chronicle stuff, you may be, oh my God, you're covering this again. We get that a lot. That's why I say this a lot. It's a new game, and somebody may not know that we have Mutant Chronicles, but they're looking for Conan instructions. So we are going to talk about skills and talents in Conan. So how do they work? I mean, one of the things we learned last week is that you already start with higher, what's it? Or it seems you start with higher expertise, or maybe not expertise, but focus. I mean, you start with like,
well,
higher...
no, focus and expertise. During character creation, I get +1s everywhere for both.
Crafty. I don't think those pieces exist. I think they were vaporized. I'm just saying. Okay. So each skill description is presented in the following format: common uses, difficulty, momentum spends. This momentum, we're going to talk more about momentum later in a different video, but it's how to spend momentum to improve the skill's chance of success and how those momentum spends affect the way it behaves. So again, if you saw the Mutant Chronicles one, this probably looks pretty familiar to you. Everybody starts with that same first talent, and then from there, you have the prerequisites and whichever tree you want to pick. And in this sample layout, talent 1 must be taken before 2, 3, 4. You have to have that first one. Talent 3, this one right here, must be taken. Oh, sorry. Where's it? Talent 3 must be taken before talent 5. Talent 4 before talent 6. You see how that works? You have to go down the tree. You can't skip one.
Right.
I mean, that's a flow chart. If you can't follow a flow chart.
Well, no. This flow chart that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't need to get 1 through 6, but you have to follow the tree. You can go 1 to 3 to 5, but you can't go 1 to 2 to 5 or 1 to 2 to 6. Follow the flow chart.
you put that comment, Derek Papa's comment on the screen? 'Cause I want to address that now. Okay, so yes, I did say that, and I'm going to backtrack on that a little bit. I actually talked to Heath and Dog about this before the stream started. My problem is that for today, I'm skipping a lot of pages. I have a note card here with all the various pages I have to skip to during the segments. So like in this one, I'm going to have 2 sections that we're covering. And I found that frustrating for the purposes of a video. Ultimately, and I'll let you guys decide this in the end, it kind of does make sense to have, we'll call it a player section and a game master section. And some of the information isn't divvied to the players. See, in Mutant Chronicles, pretty much everything was divvied to the players. So players knew all the inner workings. This one removes some of those inner workings and just gives it to the DM. Your mileage may vary. It's kind of like what first edition AD&D does.
Yeah.
So like the player's handbook doesn't have combat rules. That's weird, but it's all in how you want to do it. My problem was when I said that was written by a child, or my thing was like, my God, I've got a page here and I got a page there. It's frustrating. It's very Palladium-esque, but really that was more for the purpose of the rules than for playing the game. So, all right. That's why I wanted to get that out of the way right away, because I thought he made a very good point, and I did say that. I kind of backtrack on that a little bit, but here we go. Let's so name of talent, prerequisite, or skill. So some of them are going to actually, most of them are going to have prerequisites, and then maximum ranks. Maximum ranks allowable in the talent. Treat X as rank 1 if no entry is present. All right. So let's pick a couple. Do you have your character from last week? I didn't think so. So
no.
Let's.
I didn't write it down.
That's fine.
But I did have acrobatics, stealth, melee, ranged.
Okay. Yeah, those were skills. I don't remember what you took talents in though. I did that. But let's say
if
acrobatics was one of them.
I'll find out.
Well, let's say acrobatics was one of them.
Yeah, I think it was.
So we'll read that one. This skill is a measure of body control, covering whole body movements such as jumping, tumbling, and diving. Attempts to dodge enemy range attacks also fall under acrobatics. Acrobatics cover any use of reflexes, agility, and coordinated movement to overcome obstacles or avoid attacks. Okay, that sounds like an acrobatic skill, right?
Sounds like something you'd want.
Common uses: evading range attacks and traps. Performing. So this is kind of like your dodge and your saving throw versus getting your foot caught in a bear trap or grenades. Performing acrobatic tricks. And landing safely after a fall. You roll with punch impact. Why am I see everything's Palladium related?
Everything's Palladium now. You got to change your glasses.
Difficulty. Armor. So whatever the armor rating is. Difficulty armor doesn't tell me anything.
No, well, it could have explained it earlier.
Oh, no, I do get this. Okay, so difficulty, it's elevated by armor, difficult terrain, disruption or distraction, encumbrance or poor weather. Okay, so it's not saying that armor, whatever your armor rating is. Okay. These are the things that can affect
I get it. So it'll go from, say, D1 to D2 if your armor has encumbrance, or if you're under difficult terrain, you'll need an extra success.
And that makes sense. Poor weather, if you're trying to do cartwheels and and dodges in on slippery grass,
it's going to happen, right? Yeah. So, I can't tell you how many times I've seen TikTok girls just face plant. It's great.
Hey, send me some of those videos. All right, anyway, so momentum spends. Momentum is used to determine the overall look and style of the maneuver. Okay, so it's a sword master from Earthdawn. See, I picked a different game.
There you go.
Specific momentum spends vary based on the circumstances of the test. An acrobatics test made to dodge an attack can benefit from many of the combat-specific momentum spends. Page 268. But that's so high up there. Yep, we'll be going to page 268 in a little bit because that's in this segment. While a test to reduce falling damage allows momentum to be spent to reduce the damage suffered, even allowing your character to land upright.
Wow. Okay. Superhero landing.
Yep. Got to do that whole knee, fist to the ground knee thing, right?
Exactly. You can do it with enough momentum.
All right, so let's look at these talents. We have Agile, Message Runner, Nimble as a cat. Okay, I have to know what Message Runner is. That sounds lame.
It does sound weird, doesn't it? It sounds like post office talent.
Nimble as a cat, Savage Instincts, Lightning Reflexes. Oh, and Pantherish Twist. Pantherish Twist. Well, that's a word I just learned. So
yeah, they didn't have to make that up. You could have just gone cat. because that's what cats do when you try and drop them upside down. They twist their entire
Yep.
body to land. You didn't have
Feline
to.
twist.
You didn't have to make up a word for that. That's just weird.
Maybe it's for the setting. I don't know. So prerequisite. Acrobatics expertise 1. So basically, in order to have agile, you just have to have one little tiny point into acrobatics. We already know the Heathen Dog's character has a lot more than that.
Yep.
So you may re-roll 1d20 when attempting an acrobatics test, but you must accept the new result.
That is common for the first.
Yeah.
For the first talent in the tree is going to be a reroll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now let's look at that Panther's twist. Must have nimble as a cat first, but nothing else. It doesn't say you have to have any other prerequisites. Like,
well, that's because to get nimble as a cat, you need agile.
Well, yeah. Well, you need agile, nimble as a cat, and Panther's twist, but you also need minimum ranks 2 for nimble as a cat.
Oh, okay. There's no minimum rank. Okay, got it. Okay.
So, well, obviously it's a minimum rank 2, right? Because you couldn't have the one before.
There you go. Yeah.
You may use your acrobatic skill in place of parry when attempting a defend reaction.
Okay. So in the beginning, acrobatics was defending against ranged attacks. Now it looks like you're so good, you can now just flat out super dodge melee attacks. That's nice.
Are you ready for this? You ready?
I'm ready.
This is Earth Dawn's Avoid Blow.
Okay. Yep.
See, I can do other games.
Yep. Reducing the amount. What's it? You use acrobatic skill to parry, attempting a.
Reducing the amount of doom generated by 1 to a minimum of 0.
There you go.
Okay. So, Crafty says we're reading ranks wrong. I don't think we are.
You can take a talent up to a maximum of 2. So, but to get the Pantherism, you need to max out the talent, or what? You're reading ranks wrong. Crafty, please help us out. If we're reading it wrong, then let us know.
Okay, so actually, no, we were reading it wrong because I'm seeing ranks as the same as Mutant Chronicles, which really just means your skill level. But this does read differently here, where X is the maximum number of ranks allowable in the talent. Okay. So maximum, so you can take that twice. Okay, so maximum.
Okay. No, it's not a prerequisite. It's the maximum rank. Once you get it, you can get it, but you don't need that rank. That's the maximum rank you can achieve.
So I read that as minimum, not maximum. That was where I went wrong.
Okay. And he explained it wrong, so I was on the bandwagon too. That sucked. All right.
That's fine. Hey, we're reading it, we're learning.
There you go.
Mutant Chronicles is a better game than this one. Just saying. Every time I read something here, it makes less sense than what the Mutant Chronicles stuff did. And here you go. We have here all the skills. We'll read one more. I think we'll read healing. Because I want to know how healing works in this game. You want to pick one? I can scroll back up if you want me to.
No, it's good.
Oh, warfare. Didn't you have that one?
Warfare. Yep, warfare.
See,
yep,
healing and warfare. I think those are good ones to look at.
Those are good ones.
I have to, there's a lot of pages of this stuff, so.
There is a lot of pages.
What's this? We're past healing.
Oh, way past.
Scroll. Oh, there you go. It's healing. There we go. Healing is based on intelligence.
Not surprised.
I don't want to read despair, so I'm zooming in. This skill provides the ability to give care to someone who has suffered injury or sickness, as well as all the knowledge that accompanies such skill. Common uses: see damage and recovery, page 118. All right.
Okay, helps you heal. It's called healing, so I get it.
Yep. Healing may also be used to identify and treat sicknesses and poisons. Again, kind of seems par for the course, and determine the nature of injuries. I need to break off for a second. I was talking with somebody about the healing skill in the game that I'm writing. And I'm torn between having a just generic, we'll call it doctor.
Yep.
Or no, you need to have some specialties. Like, not all doctors can do surgery. Not all doctors know how to, understand all viruses and so yada yada. And I don't know where that line is. Part of me says I kind of like the Palladium system with first aid, paramedic, doctor, for more surgical type stuff, and having these different levels. The other part of me, because there's a realism, and it could mean that you and I could be really intelligent, have healing, but on different sides. I could be a pathologist. You could be a oh my god, homeopathic, whatever the hell it was called.
I wouldn't though, because that's gross. But
But
okay.
you get what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I get
they're
it.
different. So part of me, I like the possible variety, but ultimately, I always come back to this in a game.
You know what? When a skill like this makes sense, when you have healing and you can do it all, that makes sense. The more back in time your game setting goes, the
Sure.
more primitive your game setting, doctors did do it all because they had to. They didn't have time to specialize because they were literally doing it all the time.
And they're dying of everything anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So the more you go forward in time, up to and past current era technology, you have more time to specialize. You have more time to gain specific area knowledge rather than having to gather all the general knowledge because every day is a different thing. So this is Conan. This is back in the day. I understand having a general healer doing it all. I get it. It makes sense. Hey, barbers used to do this, man. I mean, it didn't do it well, but they did it. They did it all. So I get it.
And Violence Solves Everything agrees with you. He almost said what you said word for word.
Oh, cool.
Difficulty. So, lighting, you could have bad lighting. Oh, I didn't see that you had a wound there. Disruption or distraction. That I can understand. That's like your field medic, right?
Well, yeah, but the whole lighting thing, when you're doing surgery, you're doing a bad light. I get that too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Equipment, medicine bag, poultice, bandages. Obviously, those are going to help.
Yeah.
Random motion.
That's not good.
Yeah, trying to cut into somebody when the cart is bouncing. Stop moving. Time. Yeah, I mean, then that could work both for and against. Obviously, you take too much time and somebody bleeds out. Vice versa. You sometimes need time to do a good diagnosis. And unfamiliarity or complexity. But it seems like they can do everything, so I'm not sure where that would fall in. But hey, maybe magic.
Well, no, I'm sure it's complexity of the injury. If you had your finger cut off, stopping the bleeding's pretty easy. But if you have a sucking chest wound, stopping that bleeding and stopping the person from dying is going to be a little more difficult. There's a lot more moving parts in there. Literally, a lot more moving parts in there.
And momentum spends. See damage and recovery. A skill that involves a lot of... Wow, again, can't read. Involves lots of knowledge. The obtain information momentum spend is particularly common choice when attempting to identify ailments or study advanced healing lore. Okay, I can get that. It's kind of like using Earth Dawn again. That's kind of like your wizard ability in Earth Dawn to see the patterns. You don't know or research.
Right.
That it's a magical ability. In this one, it's a momentum, but yeah.
Right. It looks like that you can spend momentum to heal more or diagnose better.
Yep. And wow, it's funny how that makes sense.
Yeah.
Healing talents, bind wounds. This will hurt.
That, you know what? That one makes the most sense for being number one. That is literally day one, learning to heal people, stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
I get it. That's great. I love it.
And day two is this will hurt.
Yeah, day two is this is gonna hurt. But bite on this belt. I gotta cut off. It's gone gangrene. Now, the one thing I don't understand, number one, I'm sorry, the two of these I don't understand is avoid danger.
Okay.
Like what now? And the very last one on the right, I don't even know what that word is.
Surgeon?
What's that?
That's the old school way of spelling surgeon.
Really?
Yep.
That
Garthon likes to use this word a lot in fantasy games.
Okay, that is unnecessary.
Tell that to Garthon.
I'm telling to everybody. It's unnecessary.
Okay. It's the old school way. It's the thee and thou way of surgeon.
All right, well, it's still unnecessary, man.
Come on. No, that's not here. A little to ease the pain. Hold on. Wait. That seems to change the name of a little to ease the pain. No, it didn't. Okay, where's bind wounds? I don't see bind wounds.
Yeah, where the hell?
Or are these in alphabetical? Oh, they're in alphabetical order.
Yeah,
okay.
They must be.
Bind wounds. Healing expertise 1. That makes sense. And guess what? Guess what you get to do?
Reroll. See, this one doesn't. All the other ones, they have a generic, first level, right? This one has a specific sounding first level that has nothing to do with what it specifically sounds like.
Okay, here's your avoid danger.
Yeah, what
you need bind wounds, of course. You recognize various environmental risks and know how to mitigate them. You may substitute your healing skill for survival for the purposes of avoiding hazards.
No.
Here's how I see it. And
I don't see
Crafty
that
can
at all.
correct me if I'm wrong. Nope, there's one area where I see this as okay. The equivalent of NBC,
What?
nuclear biological chemical.
Oh God, come on, man.
If with sorcery and nasty stuff going on, the bad airs, so to speak.
Oh, the miasma.
Yeah, yes, no, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the one place that I can see this being where it makes sense. Outside of that, I agree with you. But I think that's how it's supposed to be used. But how often would you need it then?
Exactly. You know, you don't need a specific kind of talent for this. You can just roll this into general having healing, you know? You could roll it into having the healing skill or the healing talent and have this as an ability. You don't need this specifically. This is unnecessary. This is an unnecessary complexity. I don't like it.
Okay. I don't have feelings either way on this one, but I'm definitely wondering about its usefulness. And then Surgeon is you have encountered a variety of sicknesses, plagues, injuries, and have learned many effective ways of treating these maladies. You can attempt an average difficulty 1 healing test. Scroll up. To identify the best course of treatments for any patient you encounter. On a success, you're able to prescribe a suitable remedy. Isn't that what the base skill does?
Well, yes, but this is you are so experienced, you don't need to diagnose everyone anymore. You see it, you're like, oh, I've run into that before. And it's just an average D1 test to treat, give them the right medication, and move them along.
So it's triage.
Yeah, it's true. But you know, triage comes with experience. You have to know what these wounds look like, and now you're experienced enough to where you don't have to study every single wound, every single symptom. You get the top 3 symptoms, you're like, okay, it's this. 99% chance it's this. Boom, give them this medicine, get them out of here.
Well,
So you don't have to spend all that time with a single patient. I like this.
You may spend momentum to have the necessary treatments on hand.
Oh so God, you can spend momentum to make a bag of medical holding? Yep. Okay.
Though the cost in both money and time is subject to the game master's discretion. So if you need something really rare or really expensive, you might have to have that on your inventory sheet. But if you're just looking for a bandage or a lozenge, here, yeah, that's the right one. Take that. Then maybe you got it. You're a figure of authority and can substitute healer for command tests. That's cool. Well, hold on. If you command another character to assist you or to act in your stead, that character can re-roll a single d20 of their own healing test. Just said it.
Of their own healing test. Okay, I'm really glad that they got specific at the end, because in the beginning it sounded like, what the hell? That is way too general. Well, and then they brought it back in the end.
You and I know that a good game master would limit it anyway. But we also know that some weirdo player would be like, oh, it says command. It just says command. Just shut up. Given suitable downtime, you can completely heal the injuries of others.
Sure.
Okay. And I just want to know what this will hurt is. You know that setting bones, tending injuries will cause plenty of pain. There's little good that comes from being gentle when trying to save a life. Uh-oh. Better that they suffer pain now and live to tell of it. When you attempt to treat a patient's injuries, you may choose to reduce the difficulty of the test by up to 3 steps. Now, that's pretty cool. However, if you do this, you inflict mental damage depending on the number of steps reduced. Get that doctor away from me! He's a quack! One step.
Wow. You know what? No, I like this. I like this.
I do too.
This is really Conan gritty, World War I, Civil War-esque, like bite on this bullet. Yeah. this is gonna hurt. Yep.
One step inflicts 3 combat dice, 2, 4 combat dice, 3 steps, 5 combat dice of mental damage.
Hey, you know what? You're bleeding out. I can't take all this time. I just gotta burn it. So this is what's happening. Suck it up, Buttercup. I get this. This one I like.
Okay. Let's go down to your warfare. Are you starring any chat, by the way?
Oh, no.
I don't know if there's. I tried to star one. What's sorcery? Sorcery will not be today.
No.
Oh, I apparently passed it because I thought I saw a header.
Well, you're zoomed in too much. You can't see enough.
There we go. Yeah, but I'm going to the end. I'm pretty sure it's at the end because it's the last one. Artillery. There we go. Warfare.
There, warfare.
You want to read it or you want me to?
I got it.
Okay. I figured
This
you
skill
would.
governs the ability to use the tools and weapons intended for waging war around a fortification, whether inside or, oh, it's very specific. Okay. Siege weapons are far too large to be carried by a human being. Thank you for that. Even the smallest are colossal heavy constructions. You're able to employ these powerful weapons as well as having an understanding of the principles and strategies of battle, both as attacker and defender. Okay. This is defending against or commencing with siege warfare. Why didn't they just call it siege warfare? I don't know. Why did you ambiguate it up and just call it warfare? That was stupid. I'm having real problems with this game so far. I believe you. Mutant Chronicles is better. Crafty, I'm sorry. This game is lacking. Common uses. See chapter
Except
5,
for the shoulder pads, right?
Yeah, except for the shoulder pad. Also, identification of siege weaponry, detecting weaknesses in fortifications, and understanding the tactics of large battles. Difficulty. Non-combat uses are affected by distance, understandable, or unfamiliarity or complexity, obscure or unusual weapons, fortifications, or strategy. Okay, you see something brand new, something from another land, or something someone just invented. It's going to increase difficulty. I get it. Momentum spend. Non-combat uses gain more accurate or detailed information with momentum spend. Okay, I get that.
In order to have this ability, you must know the difference between a catapult and a trebuchet.
No. If you have this ability, then you know the difference between a catapult and a trebuchet.
No, I want the player to know before the character can even.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we have strategist.
Sure.
What do you think that's going to be?
It's going to be reroll 20.
For what?
Oh. Probably gaining information. No. You know what? I'm not going to guess.
Okay. Then we have artillerist, ballistics. Seems backward. And devastating bombardment. Now there's a cool name. I have to give you that one.
That is good. That is good.
You know what? It's the third talent down. So theoretically, it should be the coolest one, right?
It should be.
With the coolest name. All right. Then we have strategist, general, and conqueror. Again, I feel like that should be the other way around because usually the people who are conquering are the colonels and below. The general is the one just, telling them where to go. And then spotter. That sounds lame.
One. No, that one I like. I mean, it's very unassuming, but super important. I imagine that is going to increase the accuracy of your siege weapons. I imagine.
Just when compared to these 5, it sounds lame.
It sounds lame, yeah, but every once in a while, the lame thing is actually the coolest.
So, artillerist. Okay, so you need warfare expertise 1. Oh, wait a minute. You don't need strategy. Oh, there's strategy. I just blanked on it. Okay.
Wow, good job.
Warfare, that makes sense. Warfare expertise 1. You've learned how to best operate siege weaponry. When making an attack with a siege weapon, you may re-roll a number of damage dice equal to the number of warfare talents. So if you only have strategist and artillerist, that would be 2 warfare talents.
Hang on, there's a parenthetical.
Yep. Oh,
and in them.
Whoa.
That's and, not or.
Whoa.
That's and. And from what Crafty said, you sometimes you can have up to 2 ranks per.
Well, this one doesn't say. So if it doesn't say it's 1. That's what the rule said.
Why would it add that parenthetical?
Yep, that's a good point. Unless, well, because maybe some of these other ones, because right at this point we just said strategy and artillerist. One of these other ones probably allows more.
One of them could allow ranks, yeah.
So that'd be why. Okay. The result of these rerolls must be accepted.
Yeah.
So we're not going to look at that's last. Devastating bombardment's last. Ballistic.
Maximum rank 3. There you go.
Okay. Perfect example. So
yep.
You have experience firing large, inaccurate weapons over long distances. And I've learned the techniques that make these weapons truly effective for each rank of ballistics. So this is your scorpion. For each rank of ballistics, you can reduce the difficulty of a warfare test to attack with a siege any siege weapon. All right, by 1 step to a minimum average of D1. Dude, you could turn a long-range hard attack D3 into just roll.
I can hit the the fly off a dog's nose at 5 miles with this trebuchet. It's great.
And each rank also increases the damage by +1.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Jesus, man. I mean, I understand as player characters, people may never get this skill because it is very, very specific. It is useful only in one situation and one situation only.
But
if you are engaging in or defending against a siege attack, add a fortification. But if you are, I want this guy. I want this guy on my side.
Conquer. You have to have general first and warfare expertise too. With this talent, you have learned how to bring your retinue, generated with the general talent below, to bear with explosive force. Any warrior in your retinue adds a bonus of D20 to all melee, parry, ranged weapon, and warfare.
Okay, you have to look at general. You have to look at general.
Yeah, talents. What is it?
EFG.
Oh my god. There's your spotter. Screw spotter.
General. There it is. Maximum rank 3.
Wow. You've become particularly adept at coordinating the actions of soldiers. When leading an army or a unit of warriors in battle, you can substitute warfare for command.
Okay, hang on. Before we continue,
okay.
I have a problem with this. This whole warfare thing is set up for siege combat. So far, this particular section seems just general large combat.
Well, siege warfare is more than just the siege engines itself.
So far, it has been exactly that, though. So,
I get you. Well, so that the middle tree seems to be more about the people in it. I don't know what spotter is, but the bombardment, obviously, that's going to be for the siege engines themselves. This is going to be more about the people because you have to have the people to perform the siege.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it could have said it a little better in the initial description.
Yeah, because the initial description, they just said siege warfare. If you were at a fortification, it gave a lot of caveats and addendums to when this is good. So you may not be able to use this unless you are also participating in a siege combat. According to the first description.
Well, that part I might agree with. Well, let's see how this reads going down. Okay. So when leading an army or a unit of warriors in battle, you can substitute warfare for command, counsel, or persuade. My assumption on this is that this is like a senior NCO. I know it says general, but it seems more like a senior NCO ability where it's like you've been in the thick of it. The people trust you. You don't have to have the stature of command. People just know that you've been through hell and back. And if you say to do something, it's probably the right thing to do.
Right.
That's how I'm seeing it anyway. In addition, you can create a retinue, warband, squad, etc., of dedicated and highly loyal warriors of a size equal to the number of your warfare focus times your rank in the talent. So you can take
this talent, this specific talent.
Yes. So you can take maximum of 3. So let's just say you have 3. And I think your warfare was pretty high. It was like 4 or 5, wasn't it, when you took it?
I don't remember.
Let's say it was 4. So that's still 12.
Yeah, it's 12, super soldiers, basically.
Yep. For example, never mind, it gives you an example right here. For example, if you have General 2 and Warfare Focus 2, you can have up to 4 warriors in your retinue. These warriors in your retinue must be chosen prior to combat, must be dedicated followers who have trained with you, and must be within earshot to gain any benefits.
Okay.
This benefit does not apply to other player characters. Oh, I can't make a retinue out of them, even if they're under your control. These are considered to be elites, whereas normal soldiers or warriors are minions.
Okay.
So then we go back up here. That's general.
Devastating bombardment.
Well, we got to finish up Conquer.
No, devastating bombardment. I don't care about Conquer. I want devastating bombardment.
Well, this is the one that added to it.
All right, fine.
So to bear with explosive, any warrior in your retinue adds a bonus D20 to all melee, parry, ranged weapon, and warfare tests. So that means your minions basically have momentum. That's how I'm calling it, or a chronicle point, however you want to look at it.
They no longer need to be within earshot because your orders are in their soul.
It does not apply to other player characters. Oh,
that's fine.
All right, here you go. I'll let you have this one.
All right. Ballistics Warfare Expertise 2 is required to get this. You have learned how to get the greatest effect from siege weaponry using shots to shatter morale as well as masonry. After making a successful attack with a siege weapon, you may spend 2 points of momentum to unleash a devastating bombardment. A devastating bombardment forces all creatures within close range of the attack's target to attempt an average D1 discipline test or suffer mental damage equal to the attack's damage roll.
Wow.
Additionally, any momentum spent to add damage to the devastating bombardment adds 2 points of damage rather than 1. Okay, hang on. So you can place your shot in such a way that not only does it damage your intended target, but it will demoralize the enemy to the point where you can break their heads.
I think it sounds cooler than what the
What it is. Yeah, because if mental damage is anything like Mutant Chronicles, it'll take a lot. You'd have to get a lot of momentum.
Also, it's a D1 test. Now, here's where I think it would work well.
Yeah.
A true siege. Like, I'm not trying to affect Heathen Dog. I'm trying to affect the 200 people that are hiding behind that wall. If I can get 10 of them to break, then that starts to deteriorate the defenses.
Right.
It isn't something that I think is beneficial in anything small scale. This has to be done in a siege for it to be worth it.
Right. And that's what it's for. Yeah.
So with that in mind, I do like it. I'm just scared of seeing, and Crafty might disagree because maybe he runs his games differently, but just based on my experience of playing a bunch of different games with folks, I could see a lot of this hand waved. But theoretically,
if you're the character who has taken time and resources to get this skill tree or this talent tree, as a player, I wouldn't let it be hand waved.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And then Spotter, okay, what does this do? You're familiar with discovering enemy positions, communicating back to your leader. When assisting in setting up or seeking out an ambush, or when assisting in an artillery crew as a spotter, you may add your warfare dice pool rather than only a single D20.
Warfare dice pool.
Okay.
Warfare dice pool?
What?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you know what? Now that I think of it, because I was thinking expertise, but yeah, what is the warfare dice pool? Crafty, what is warfare dice pool?
Well, go up to the warfare, the original explanation for the whole thing. See if they talk about dice pools.
Maybe we'll get that later. Warfare.
Even the smallest or colossal governs the ability, blah blah blah. Difficulty, complexity, accurate, detailed information.
We'll wait for Crafty. Yeah, that's just flavor text. And then it gets into the things.
Yeah, I don't understand what warfare dice pool is.
Yeah, because at first I was just reading that as like, okay, if you got an expertise of 5, that's 5 dice. But no, it specifically says dice pool. You're right. It's not about expertise. Oh, the one time we want Crafty to chime in, he's taking for freaking ever.
Well, he's at work. Calm down.
I don't care. Work. All right.
All right. So, warfare. I'm not a huge fan. I don't like talents and skills in games that are highly niched, and this is it.
Unless they're all highly niched.
Yeah, unless they're all, but they're not. Obviously, right. Healer is extremely broad, right? Whereas this one is not just only in combat; it's only in a specific form of combat, and that's it. That is not worth taking. The ROI on that sucks. I would never ever take that talent as a character unless the campaign specifically called for it.
Well, as you and I aren't big Conan players, it's very possible that the premise
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens a lot. Okay.
So, all right, well, maybe we'll have to wait till the next video for us to figure out what that dice pool thing is, or maybe you can put it into chat and explain us what is that dice pool. Maybe we'll cover it in the next section. You're like, didn't you read it? Nope.
Derek
Told
is
ya.
guessing here. He says perhaps a set of dice just for combat rolls. Again, we didn't see it, but we haven't gone over combat. Maybe they have a specific section in combat for siege combat.
Well, they do. There is a chapter on siege combat, and in fact, if you want
maybe it
quickly, we can
explains
look
dice
at.
pools there.
Oh, I was saying the next video, but actually, I have another part of this video that this segment I have to do. Where is it here? Dice pool is from 2d20 up to 5d20.
Okay, see, I don't understand that. What is a warfare dice pool? I don't understand how that's different from a regular thing.
We've got time. He said he's helping a customer. We've got time because
Okay,
I've got another
fine.
section to do here. But there was something. Oh, what was I going to look at here? I forget. Who cares then? So let me go to the other page, 265. That probably isn't 265, but it was cool art.
Yeah.
There you go. That's not a minion of yours anyway.
That's my lizard.
See, this is when men were men and armor only covered your loins.
Yep.
The way it should be.
Yeah. The only thing you needed protected was the thing you needed that night with your woman. That's it. That's all you need. You just need to have that at the end of the day.
All right, so game mastering here has some topics on, and I want to go specifically to 265, so it'll be here, on skill tests. So we were supposed to talk about skills, and most of that was talents. And so we're in the game mastering section now, and I'm not going to read Howard's work, yada, yada. During the course of Conan game session, during the course of a Conan game session, this isn't always, oh my God, no, I'm not doing that. Not relating it back to calling for tests. Almost everything a player character can do in-game can be resolved by a skill test. This is the single most prevalent mechanic in the entire game, and every other mechanic in Conan hinges on a skill test of some sort. However, not every action needs a skill test to determine the outcome. In some cases, the test slows things down, gets in the way of useful progress, or simply generates a chance of failure at a task that should have succeeded.
Or it's a really cheap way for characters to gain momentum for basically free.
Well, that's technically a difficulty 0 test, and well, Crafty likes him, I don't. I get why he does so as part of the game. So, ideally, the game master should only call for a skill test under the following circumstances. When the results are interesting, regardless of success or failure. Interesting. When the risk of failure is meaningful.
I don't know, that first one doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, I don't like those. Again, Mutant Chronicles said it better.
Weird guy. An age undreamed of, where men wore girdles, WWE trophy belts, but women wore only their jewelry.
Yes.
Thank you for the $5 of wonderful misogyny. I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
This is the way all games should be.
I'm a fan.
Yep. There's little point in calling for skill tests to resolve mundane tasks, just as there's little point in thoroughly describing them. The game master should not ask the players to roll to see if the characters sleep well. Or are able to find their way across town they know well. Sure. When something's on the line, when the outcome could plunge a character to his death, or cause, oh my God, to send to the greatest zenith, or when the same is on the line for a non-player character, that is when to make a skill test. Yeah, when the success or failure is how did I write it? Something when the success or failure is meaningful and the consequences are, or maybe that's where the meaningful list came. I can't remember. But yeah, there are two facets, and that's only when you roll. Oh, when the outcome is uncertain and the result of the outcome is meaningful. Just say yes. It's easy to get in the habit of asking for a skill test. It seems like a good idea a lot of the time, and it recognizes the effort that the players put into the characters by using the skills they've picked. Spending points on skills and picking specific talents is a form of investment. Deciding, yada, yada, yada. Conan has no patience with boring. There you go. That should be like the quote of the first sentence of every game. Name of game has no patience with boring. As a result, in a lot of situations, it's actually more useful for this guy. My God, I cannot talk.
Oh my God,
game masters simply say yes.
Together.
No, I'm drunk. No, I'm not. I feel like I'm drunk. Or I'm reading like I'm drunk. To a player to request or to a player's request or idea and move on if it needs no further discussion. I agree with that completely. Yes, just, I want to do this. Okay, do it. Unless it's meaningful to the game.
Or no, don't. Move on.
Yeah, usually I go with the whole, you can always try. The difficulty roll might be pretty high, and when you fail, the results might be fun.
Catastrophic.
Or catastrophic. But you can always try. All right. Okay, there's the moment. I saw momentum. The game master should only ask for tasks if the task is actually difficult, or if the character is currently under pressure, struggling with some other negative influence. I call it duress, but yes,
Sure.
exactly.
Same thing.
Of course, if the player really wants to attempt a test when none is required, the game master has the option of declaring that it is a simple difficulty 0 test. You ready for this next part?
Go.
And just allowing the player character to see how much momentum, how many complications, if any, the character generates. I don't. Crafty's going to disagree with you, and I know why he's going to disagree with you. But
I know he is, but the idea of players, asking for cheap rolls just to build up momentum pisses me off. Yeah. Momentum should not be a gimme. Momentum should be a reward for a task done extremely well when you may not have done it extremely well. A D0 test is bullshit. I would never let a player roll it, ever. It's a gimme. That's
philosophically, I 100% agree with you. My issue is if it's integral to the game, it's a necessary evil, so I'd rather just play a different game.
No. Well, yeah, fair enough. But no, I mean, it actually, no, my way is completely fair because in all of these 2D20 systems, it's the game master that calls for the rolls, no one else. I decide when a roll happens. And if I don't want a D0 test to happen, it's not gonna. But I don't have momentum. Well, get better, scrub. There you go.
This next paragraph I was going to skip, but then I saw something in there which I think would be great to trigger some grognards. Bear in mind, too, that a test to obtain information, alchemy, languages, lore, sorcery, etc., is also something to say yes to more often than not, really. The character's knowledge is not the player's knowledge, and it benefits the game overall to assume that player characters know things about the world of Conan that the players do not.
That's fair.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that.
Because a lot of grognards just it's more about what the player decides, what the player wants to do. Nope. It's about what the character does, not the player. And you play as a player, you have a responsibility to play the character.
Right.
I mean, Heathen Dog and I don't go beating each other up with swords to see who the best sword fighter is. We roll dice and we have the character. If his character's better at sword fighting than me, my character's probably going to lose. Where in real life, maybe I'm the better sword fighter. I don't know. That'd be weird. Unless they're delving into deep secrets of Archeron or seeking other rare and precious information, there's a little point in making a player character roll to find the local blacksmith. Oh, yeah, okay. Or to identify languages by hearing them. Okay, identify languages, not be able to speak to it. Yeah, I can do that. I can listen to a whole ton of languages and know what they are.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Crafty, I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to specify what I meant. If a player has talents that reduce a D1 or a D2 down to a D0, should still be allowed to roll. I agree. 100% agree. Your skill and expertise allow you to do this with such grace and flourish that momentum is generated. I get it. I would not allow a character to roll a test that starts at D0. That is stupid.
Yeah.
If his skill and his expertise bring it down to a D0, good for you. You built your character for this moment. Roll all that extra momentum. Awesome. But I've never, ever allow a character to roll anything that starts at D0. Never. Never happened.
Agreed. I agree with that. Okay. So decide how not.
You got a problem.
What's that? Oh, yeah. I don't care.
Okay.
I'll delete it and ban the person later. Decide how non-player characters respond and interact. Once everything else is in place, Game Master needs to make choices for the non-player characters present in the scene. You know, I don't need to read all the Game Master section. I just want to point out the skill stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it.
These rules failing forward and success at cost. I think that was it. Yeah, because momentum's the next thing I want to talk about. Let's see. This is bold. Ooh, it's bold. Let's finish up with the bold text. Any situation that could only be resolved successfully through a single specific die roll is a poorly designed situation and should be avoided. I agree. I absolutely agree with this. Never kill. Well, no, because that wasn't one roll. Okay, you know what? I can think of caveats right now where I disagree. But for the most part, that hanging from the parapet kind of thing. Sometimes game masters give characters too many dice rolls. Okay, I want you to make a dodge check. Okay, now, or a dex check. Okay, I want you to make a saving throw. Okay, now I want to see if your hands grip. Okay, at some point there, the person fell. Okay, but one die roll that just happened to go poorly for the person shouldn't be instant death.
You're right. The only
combat is a little different, but
well, no, I'm not even talking about combat, but in every life or death situation, there's always that last die roll. Right. There always is. So this sentence is bullshit.
Well,
it's poorly written. It does not convey the idea they want to, because every single time you die, the die roll before is the one die roll that decided it. I'm sorry. 99% of the time, that's what happens.
There's also the part where I talk about when I do adventures, I don't ever have, if I write my own, I don't ever have it hinge upon one thing. Oh, you didn't look in the underwear drawer and find the secret key. Now you guys are stuck and you can't get through. It's like, no.
Well, that's a bad example because it's a decision, but yeah, I get it.
Well, perception check in some games, you didn't look in the underwear drawer, ha ha ha. But I mean, I've seen things like that happen. No, there's the check. There's the okay, now we'll ban the person.
Yeah.
There's the check, there's the combat, and then there's the secret path. Something like that, where it's like there's always, I try to put in 3 different ways that it can happen, so that one die roll doesn't stop the adventure. One die roll may change its direction, but it doesn't stop it. And I think that's what they're trying to say here. I could be wrong.
I just so far this whole book is much more poorly written than the last one. I'm upset. I really am. I'm upset by this book.
Oh, that's weird. Can't. All right, we're pausing the stream for just a moment so I can figure out how to use Twitch again.
Any situation that can only be resolved successfully through a single specific die roll is a poorly designed situation and should be avoided. No. Sometimes it comes up to either you make the shot or not. And that's life. I'm sorry. That is a perfectly valid way to live or die. So bullshit. I call bullshit on that.
Oh, that's even easier than I thought. Had to click on the name. All right, cool. Bye. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, having an absolute is a problem in there, but generally speaking, like you said, I think it's kind of misworded. They wanted to say
it's written. This whole book is written poorer than the one before, in my opinion.
I don't know which game came out first.
Well, the last one we did. That's when I talk about the one before.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I just skimmed through this, and yeah, it's kind of what they say. Social act, one failed social interaction shouldn't stop a quest.
I get that, but like I said, so many situations have to come down to you take the shot, you make it or you don't, you succeed or you fail. So this sentence is just poorly worded to the point where it doesn't make sense. I understand what they're trying to say, but that's not what they're saying. What they're trying to say is there should always be an option that if your character doesn't have this skill, doesn't have this ability, there should be another way that success can be achieved. It shouldn't come down to a single die roll of a skill. It shouldn't come down to this one talent. It shouldn't come down to this one attack roll. I get it. But the way you worded it No, sometimes it does have to come down to a single die roll. And that's completely fair. Are we in part 2 now?
We're about to be. I wanted you to finish that though, because and then let's look at chat.
All right, I got a couple starred here.
Okay.
Bring one up. Reactionary public principle gaming. That's the closer to the correct way to spell surgeon. Oh, that's the surgeon thing. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. It's just dumb.
Because it's not English.
Exactly. Anything not English is dumb. Write that down. Crafty says, it's not different. Warfare dice pool is how many dice you are throwing for a warfare test. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm not going to get it today.
Wait.
I may be just missing it. Just, whew. But
So
why? Why am I missing it so hard?
The standard roll is 2d20, right?
Yeah, and then you can buy more D20s with that. But why specifically state warfare dice pool, move it in this, move it that? No, it seems overcomplicating itself. I don't understand.
If I'm understanding it now, it's if you normally roll 2 dice for a normal skill check, that bonus that's applied is the 2D instead of just the base 1D for it being a schmuck minion.
I don't know. So far, I'm not digging this game.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Heathen Dog's not digging it, but are you digging it? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. So far, I don't really have any major problems with it. I don't necessarily like all the writing in the book, but I do think that Mutant Chronicles is better so far. With that said, I don't have any major issues.
It is possible that the reason we like Mutant Chronicles better is because we hit it first. That's a possibility, and I'm willing to accept that if that turns out to be the case.
That's fair.
Yeah, we hit that book first. We understand it. This one goes at it differently, and so because we're coming from a place of prior knowledge, it seems alien. If we had no knowledge, maybe we'd acclimate to this one just as well as we did to Mutant Chronicles. Maybe. That's entirely possible. But guess what? I don't care.
I mean, I don't dislike the game or anything yet. I mean, because I know it's 2d20 and I know it's the same basic, as we'll get into in this chapter you see on here, it's the same basic rule system. I just, it's kind of like the Palladium thing. I love the game, just kind of fix some of the books, right?
Yeah.
So, anywho, let's end this one and get ready for the next one. So I already said subscribe, but I'll put it up there again. And what are your thoughts? If you have thoughts about the way we're covering this, if you have thoughts about either Heathen Dog's opinion or my ignorance on something, whatever, let us know in the comments. Or if you like the fact that we're doing these read-throughs, because that's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is not to tell you how to play the game. It's to learn the game, basically, with you, and you make a decision whether you want to buy it or not.
Yeah, and if you learn from us being wrong, awesome.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, we're certainly not saying don't buy it. Well, good luck, but you better buy it quickly. It's going away soon.